evening, everyone. Welcome to today's LXDGuild's webinar on an incredibly relevant and thought provoking topic AI and instructional design, ensuring safety, ethics, and efficiency in 2025. This is Sandeep, your host, and thank you very much for joining us for this webinar. So, AI and instructional design. The rapid growth of artificial intelligence has transformed almost every industry, and e learning is no exception. AI is changing how we design, deliver, and measure learning experiences. However, while adopting these technologies, it's crucial to balance innovation with ethics, safety, and efficiency. To help us understand this better, we have Rahul Agarwal with us today. Hey, Rahul, welcome.
Hi, Sandeep. Thank you for that warm welcome.
Yes, so let me quickly introduce Rahul Agarwal to the audience. So he is the regional operations lead for APAC region at Microsoft currently, where he's supporting the global learning operations and spaces team. So he comes with a decade of experience in designing impactful learning solutions. So he has also worked with global companies like Thomson Reuters and Amazon. So he's a certified instructional designer. In his current role, he combines his instructional design skills with operational leadership to drive learning initiatives across the APAC region. So, welcome to the show, Rahul.
Thank you, Sandeep. It's an honor to be here.
Okay, so Rahul, let's start with a broad perspective. How is AI transforming instructional design globally, and how do you see it impacting us here in India?
To start with globally, right? AI is making more and more learning to be more personalized, right? For example, if I talk about the Duolingo, so I got my hands on Duolingo very recently. I know it's in the market from a long time, but I got some free time and I was trying to go through Duolingo because a lot of my friends had like 900-day streak and 1200-day streak. They're trying to compete with each other right now. So when I got my hands on that application, it's really great to see how it edges lessons based on my progress or on others' progress. Somebody at level 1 versus level 99, right? The kind of content that you see and the recommendations that you get is completely different. And I think this is being adapted globally. And if someone is kind of struggling there, it gives them simpler tasks. And if they're doing well, if it lets them move forward. So this makes learning more suitable for the person's as per the person's need. And if I talk about India, India is kind of doing the same trend with platforms like Byju's, Vedantu. They are kind of using AI to help millions of students to learn much more better. For instance, if a student is finding algebra to be difficult, AI can give some extra practice and tips. And if a student is already doing well in algebra and are ready to move ahead, they can kind of skip those and move to the advanced topics. So this is very helpful in our country because every learner has a different challenge and goal.
That's fascinating. Yes, and thank you for the examples. And uh, what about creating content using AI?
Yeah, I think a lot of us are already using AI to create content, but you know, it has been absolutely a game changer in content creation. If you look back from where I started, or at least when you started, things were a lot more different. But right now, AI is a game changer in content creation. So globally, we have open AI, which can generate quiz, notes, and even short micro learnings in minutes. that's kind of really fascinating because it used to take us practically to spend a lot more hours and sometimes days to do that. But right now, with the help of AI, we can do it in minutes. So I can give you one example, right? Like how it can be used to create content is that if an instructor needs a set of practice questions on algebra, AI can quickly provide a variety of problems tailored to different skill levels. And it's not going to even take 2 minutes to do it. And that's really fascinating for me. And if I talk about India, right, I'm sure a lot of people here must have heard about the Diksha platform. So Diksha platform is using AI to develop regional languages, content in regional languages, which is really great. So, this approach really ensures that students across linguistic and cultural background gets access to high quality educational materials. Imagine a classroom in rural Maharashtra, right? Where a student is trying to learn in Marathi has access to the same resource on someone studying in English in a metro city. So Diksha is really, really using that AI technology to make sure that the education part in the society, everybody is kind of receiving the same quality of education in their preferred language.
Yes, I think that's exciting. But when scaling learning, how can we make sure AI is fair and doesn't leave anyone behind or with any bias?
So So to my previous example, right, I was trying to put on a joke here that the benefit of using AI is that now you can learn Bhojpuri and trigonometry in Bhojpuri and Pahadi. So I was recently trying to look back on a live cricket match. They were trying to generate auto captions, not the commentator sitting behind and commenting in different languages, but this was majorly using AI. They were trying to see if they can translate the commentary into different languages. The initial language was English because if it is English, it's easier to kind of translate into other languages. So I was trying to listen the commentary in Pahadi and Bhojpuri, and I don't know the language personally, but it was really good to hear to that. Uh, it was told in the end that the test was 90% accurate. So it's really doing great there. And coming back to your next question, like um, how it can make you feel included, right? So that's a great question. So believe that AI is not only as good as the data it's trained on. If the data is not diverse, the AI might unintentionally exclude certain groups. For example, the example just I gave you about commentary, right? So if most of the training data is in English, the AI might struggle to serve students who speak different regional languages like Hindi, Bengali, Kannada, Marathi. And this creates a gap where only some learners take benefit of the technology. So for this, the Indian education policy emphasizes inclusive education, and the AI has the potential to play a big role here. So think of an instance where AI can help create educational materials in regional languages like Marathi, Bengali, or Hindi. So, so that makes learning not a barrier, but it's available for a large level of audience, right? So it can also help develop tools for students with disabilities like text to speech for visually impaired or sign language for the hearing impaired. So these are some areas where I think India is doing good. We have some companies who are trying to work on this and improve some tools. So the end goal is to make education accessible and equitable for everyone, no matter where they are from or what challenges they face. So this is how I think AI is kind of taking this ethical considerations.
Yes, that's really a great perspective. And yeah, as you are mentioning or highlighting the NEP, the National Education Policy 2020, which also was focusing on the inclusive education, right? I was also uh, looking at, okay, how the accessibility, as you were mentioning, yeah, so that also has to be catered to as part of the learning. And it was only a rare thing which was included in our learning content, isn't it? But now I see that transition happening where we are focusing more on inclusivity, yeah, accessibility, and much more. So yeah, maybe AI is helping us ease the effort. That is where I see efficiency is also coming in with equality, right? That's great. Thank you. So let's shift gears to safety. How do we ensure that learner data is protected? And what about keeping learners mentally safe?
Yeah, I think that makes a good point here, when you talk about the safety and the mental well-being, right? It's equally important because, you don't want the AI to make you feel frustrated. And, you also want to make sure your data is safe whenever you're trying to give some inputs, trying to log some information out there. Of course, safety comes first. So I think in India, there is a Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which plays a crucial role. So it ensures that companies cannot misuse your data. So, for example, at tech platforms right now will have to get your explicit permission before collecting any personal information. And also, they need to clearly explain how your data will be used and what steps they are taking to protect it. So, this transparency is really vital to building trust in this digital education. And the next point on the mental health being, I think that's really more important after safety, because if you have that safety and trust, there's one step that you're ahead in the mental well-being. So AI tools will need to strike through between the right balance between challenging learners and keeping them motivated, right? And in doing so, if think about if AI is trying to assign you tasks which are very challenging and you're struggling day in and day out, right? So you might not end up using the application if it's trying to challenge you and not trying to resolve your problem. So it could lead to frustration and even disengagement, right? So instead, I believe AI should adapt to the learner's needs. For example, if someone is finding a topic too hard, the system should slow down and provide some simpler tasks and challenges, or offer encouraging feedback. And in the other way, if someone is doing already good, and if someone wants to skip, they should be able to do so and try to go and solve complex challenges. So the goal here is to keep the learners positive and engaged, ensuring that learning remains a constructive and enjoyable experience.
Yes. I think it's more about the discussions coming around hallucination, right? And we also see like how you are talking about motivation and not demotivation with the usage of AI, right? So there are certain assessments usually when we as e-learning designers and developers, when we create them, yeah, we always have an approach or a methodology. But when it is a usual process that is well accepted by the learners because that has been coming through the ages. But now if you go ahead and uh, yeah, maybe give a response to one particular question which is popping up as part of an AI generated assessment, and you do not know how many questions are already in your pipeline, and you keep on
Okay.
responding and there's another question coming, and it's like it's maybe like if in case the chat gpt, which is very predominantly used, so if in case it was also a human being, then it would have asked like, okay, hey, how many questions are you going to ask? Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
So
there's always a thin line between what you call it as, cognitive load. So I know a lot of instructional designers first learn about cognitive load, right? And think about even when you design a learning module, how the navigation is. If it's easy, if it's smooth, everyone loves it. If it's engaging, people will try to complete the module and also provide good feedback. They're kind of engaging with the module. And if it is too complex that you will have to click every now and then and the placement of where you need to click to proceed next changes, I'm sure the learner would get frustrated and would not like to continue
Yes.
with the training.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, that is how the bad design goes, right? As you're saying, that increasing the cognitive load than helping the learner solve a problem or learn
That's right.
something. Yes, so that's a great perspective again. Okay, AI promises to make learning more efficient, isn't it? How do we ensure this doesn't take away the human connection in education? Your thoughts?
I think that's a very important and a very valid point, right, Sandeep? Because a lot of us, when we heard about AI, so before moving on to that, I want to ask in the chat, how many of you know when was the first AI program was written? And nobody should Google on this, but if you honestly know this, you can put it in the chat. But when was the first AI program that was officially written?
Okay, so the participants can just go ahead and key in the comment section of the live. I'll be able to take it to Rahul.
Yeah, I'll just give you all 2 minutes. You don't have to break your heads. It's not $1 million question, but I just want to kind of connect my example to this question. So, it really makes sense when we talk about how it is important to have that human touch. Yeah, I think I can just answer to it. It was first written, if I'm not wrong, it was somewhere around in 1951, and it was for a game of Chinese checkers and chess. So AI is already there since you know s- since a century now, not a century, but at least 75 years from now. It's just about how AI is evolving with the given technology and with our needs. And,
Okay.
of course, we were all scared in the beginning that AI is here now, it will take up our jobs, it will eat up our jobs. No, it still needs a human touch. And, a
Yes.
great example that I can give you is about the teachers. So during pandemic, right, a lot of teachers started going virtually, started training virtually. So AI should really help teachers, but not replace them. At least in India, you think about how many teachers manage large classrooms and spend a lot of time on administrative tasks like grading papers, tracking attendance, and doing a lot more other things which AI can actually do, which can be automated using AI, and they can spend more time on connecting with their students, answering to their questions, and focusing on their growth areas. So this is one good example of how it can help education, but also not lose the human touch, because you will still need
Right.
teachers who can add that human touch to personalize your personalize your learning, and also you make those connect with human, and it's much more easier to get your answers resolved from a teacher rather than AI.
Yes. We did get a response to the question, just taking a little back to our
Okay.
discussion. So Ankita, yeah, she answered, yeah, first it was written for chess playing, so I think she got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you, Ankita, for that response. Yes, going ahead. So we talked about enhancing efficiency, and we were also discussing about ensuring safety and ethical considerations in AI, right? So just wanted to talk about what tools or trends should instructional designers in India look out for when this AI is coming as a disruptor.
Sorry, could you repeat that for me, Sandeep?
Yeah, I was asking, so what tools or trends should instructional designers in India look for because we are seeing AI as a real disruptor?
Yeah, if we talk about the global tools, I think tools like Articulate 360 and Adobe Captivate are really enhanced with AI. They can simply create learning modules and also simplify the process of creating learning modules. So for corporate designers in India, leveraging these tools can significantly streamline the content creation process. And if I think about some companies who are kind of developing the AI power-based platforms, I think Infosys is on the top, which is trying to develop AI platforms for corporate trainings, and these platforms are making it easier for employees to learn at their own space while being scalable in the larger organizations. So there are a lot number of tools I can start naming them, but the other thing that's coming to my head is immersive learning, which is related to audio, video, AR, VR. So I recently heard about a startup called Simulanasis using VR to train their workers in industries like manufacturing and healthcare. And think about using AR, VR, and in something like healthcare, how good of an experience that it can provide, because healthcare is really a sensitive kind of learning where if you're opting for a surgeon to become a surgeon, just imagine the kind of stress you need to go through and the curiosity of a new surgeon who's trying to learn about a heart surgery. They will need to go dissect, wait for the entire training, and they do not have practical information start right from day one. So with this AR VR, it's kind of really emerging how we can use this technology in the medical field. you know the simulations are trying to make training safer and more realistic, and allowing learners to practice in a very controlled and tight environment. Because even if there are any mistakes, if there is a scope of error, it's not going to play with anyone's life in real life. So so I believe there are a lot number of tools, but I can only talk about some other tools that you can use. As try learning more about the immersive learning. Articulate 360 is the king right now for enhanced learning and AI learning. And if I talk about other trends and tools which are ongoing, which is gamification, we heard a lot more about gamification, which is more like adding elements like points, batches, and leaderships, making learning more interactive and competitive. So this is one good trend that you can follow to engage your learners. Again, there are a lot more AI tools. I don't want to really talk about the list of AI tools. It would be more like I'm just giving away. But I would like to spend more time if I want to talk about a tool and what how you can use it. And with the interest of time, I'm just trying to talk more about the trends. So micro learnings, right? Micro learning is again a good trend that you can follow. It's more like a short and focused learning, which will really fit into our busy schedules. I know everyone is kind of busy scrolling through Instagram reels and you know doing stuff that is not required, but micro learnings are always helpful for our busy schedules. I'm sorry, you wanted to say something, Sandeep.
No, yeah, you were talking about um, like how various tools, especially Articulate Storyline, has evolved, right, with avatars and a lot of AI elements coming within. And yeah, it is also changing the efficiency of development, right? A particular course's development. So that's something, as you are also mentioning, how Infosys is leading that in the services space. I also see TCS also getting into that in India, right? So trying to
Yeah,
rope
yeah.
in AI. So everybody is taking that AI route, definitely. And still, there's a lot to see what AI can bring to us and help us to increase our efficiency, maybe, but being cautious, okay, on what uh, it can do if we are not having our hands on that in the right way, right? So,
Yeah.
so to wrap up, Rahul, What does the future of AI in instructional design look like?
I think the future is really bright, Sandeep. So if we try and look out at the different sectors, so we are only using instructional designing in corporate right now. I'm sure when I say right now, I think I am talking about 2 years, past 2 years. But if you think about the future is really, really bright, and there are going to be many, much more opportunities. Because when I talked about healthcare, manufacturing, the small scale businesses, they are all going to start using instructional designing in some or the other way. They'll have the need of instructional designers who can create trainings for their employees, because nobody would like to sit with a new employee and spend months together and explain them and teach them about the process, right? And I'm already seeing some requests coming from large scale manufacturing industries that they want some specialized and customized trainings for their employees, so that it's easier for them when there are staff's replacement, or if they want to upskill their staff on XYZ products. So it really gets easier for them if they have something like a micro learning or a video, and I'm sure everybody knows how to operate a phone and scroll through the videos, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. So I think that's the new way of learning as well. So I believe the future is absolutely bright. And there is a new initiative called Digital India. It's becoming a key part of the education right now. The challenge will be ensuring that policymakers, educators, and technologies work together to use AI responsibly. So this is where I believe, you know, it's going to be really, really a growing sector. I'm not talking about immediate 1 or 2 years, but I'm trying to look at the big picture, 3 years or 5 years down the line. And I think with our youth population and growing tech infrastructure as well, we are in a strong position to lead the way in making education really accessible and personalized.
Yes, Rahul. That's right. I think with whatever the capabilities as Indian audience or the skill set per se, what we hold is really promising. And I think, yeah, we are in a good position to lead the change, Rahul. This has been an incredibly enlightening session. Your thoughts on AI and instructional design were practical and inspiring. So, before we close, any final takeaways for our audience?
My final takeaways would be, at least when you try to include AI in instructional design, firstly, don't be scared. It's not going to take away your jobs. It's only going to make your jobs more efficient, and it's going to give you a lot more free time to think about your ideas and innovate yourself. So number one key takeaway is this. The second one is, AI is a tool to enhance learning and not replace thoughtful design and human connection. So I'm kind of repeating the same because it means a bit different, because it's when you think about the design that you're going to put into a learning, AI cannot really decide the modality which will perfectly be fit for our audience, right? Even if you take advice from AI, you will need to kind of mold it according to your audience, the size, the region that you're presenting for, the outcome of it, the goal that you're looking out of that particular training. So all this will definitely require a human touch and a human interference. AI can make your job easy, but you know, not that easy that it's doing everything for you. But yeah, of course, it's gonna give you more productiveness, and you can utilize your time efficiently. So if you prioritize ethics, ensure safety, and foster collaboration between educators and technologists, I think we can create learning experiences that are impactful and inclusive for everyone.
Thank you,
And
Rahul.
before I wrap
Yeah,
up,
so you want to add?
I
Yes.
I want to just put it across in such a way that AI can help you get marks, right? It can help you score, it can help you learn for your next day exam. You can probably cheat during your exam using AI. But think about saving yourself from your mom's jadu and dad's belt. It's your it's still your job, right? So it can help you prepare. It can still help you get good marks, but it's not gonna save you from your mom's jadu and dad's belt for sure.
I think, yeah, that's a funny remark to close with. Thank you, Rahul, and thanks to everyone for joining us today. Stay tuned for more sessions on the emerging trends in education. And yeah, come join LXD Guild. This is your community for anything learning. And we are here for all the learning and development professionals to go ahead and give your insights, maybe in all whichever platform which you are comfortable with, especially LinkedIn. We are present there and we continue to share. And the latest thing which we started to post is on every Monday, you can go ahead and see there is something called as learning bites coming from our way. So keep watching our space and keep contributing in whichever way you can. So thank you very much again, Rahul, for being here with us today and for sharing the great insights on AI in instructional design. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of the day or evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, audience. Have a good day.
Have a good day all.